Welcome to our podcast. I'm Stacey Donadio.
And I'm Shannon Fasone from Turnkey Women,
where we're opening doors for women in business.
Cheers!
Joining us today. And here's what you can expect from this podcast. We're going to be hosting a monthly podcast highlighting our upcoming women in business networking events and having a wonderful guest join us like we have here today who ties directly to our mission, our vision, and the upcoming event.
And so just as a small little PSA, acronym number 2, which doesn't really count, public service announcement, we are not anti-men. We just really wanted to create a space where women in business could just come together, collaborate without the pressure that sometimes is associated being in a room full of men. I think that kind of sums up our mission, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe we'll talk about how we came together. Yeah.
So Stacey and I came about in a way that was like totally organic. I decided to put a post on Facebook, on social media, and asking for my friends to connect me to real estate professionals. And a mutual friend of ours connected us, and we had a nice little breakfast at C'est La Vie, which is where all three of us just came from.
Which is our favorite spot
ever.
In Red Bank.
It's so great.
Love it.
And we really realized that, first of all, we've been running in the same circles and knew that each other existed.
For like 15 years.
For decades. Okay, let's not age ourselves too much, but...
Sorry.
Yeah.
So you were 12.
10.
12.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
Exactly, 12.
And the biggest thing we realized in all of this is that we really had the same mindset of professional values. And it started to become apparent that in real estate, you can kind of get caught up in the chasing and going after business and that. But when you really sit down and vet people and you come together with somebody who has the same values as you, the sky is the limit as far as where you can go. And we just kind of really liked each other. Well, I liked her. I think she liked me.
I did like you. I did like you. You're funny.
Okay. Oh,
and you're smart. And you're a hard worker.
Go on.
I know. I could go on for days. So what we really realized that we had very similar viewpoints on is this idea of, while this is a very competitive industry, it doesn't have to be so cutthroat. It doesn't make sense for it to be cutthroat, which you'll meet Kelly in a minute, but she agrees with us too. So we decided, why not try to create a community of like-minded women in business? It started out real estate, but now it's just really like
women,
kind of women in general.
Yeah.
Business owners, salespeople, entrepreneurs, I mean, everybody. And it is not for everybody, and we've told people that maybe it's not
Kelly, that's
for
your favorite
everybody.
moment, right?
Just
one of
because
my
it's
favorite
not.
moments,
Some
yes.
people really enjoy that competition, and we really promote more of a collaborative environment, and I think our members are really appreciating it. What would you say so, Kelly?
I would think so, yeah. I think the idea of being collaborative or that idea of friendly competition definitely it's missing in a lot of our industry. It's missing in a lot of just
a lot of industry
business in general.
And for those of you who aren't familiar with Kelly is at Absolute Home Mortgage Team Cook. Kelly, why don't you tell us about your position and how you kind of got to Team Cook?
So I am the operations manager for Team Cook. We're a branch of Absolute Home Mortgage. My road to that position is a little winding, so I'll just stick with what is industry specific. So I actually worked for Foxton's Real Estate.
Oh, I was at Safeguard.
There you go.
We knew that. Did we know this?
We knew
yeah,
this.
Yeah, we knew this.
Right up until they shut down in like 2007, and then I left the industry for a little while.
Chaos shut down.
It was chaos.
You didn't see Shannon because they locked her in the basement.
Oh, right. We weren't allowed up there with the real people.
Yeah, we were in a corner. I was in the photography department. We were in like a back
so you
corner.
were just as shunned as we were. Okay, entitled, yeah.
And I kind of left the industry after that. I had a brief dip my toe back in the water. I worked for Heritage House for a few months.
Okay.
What was your role there?
I was an administrative assistant for one of the agents and did a little bit of like the clerical office management type stuff. Then I actually pivoted and I was in a management role with Macy's as a retail sales manager for about 5 years.
Discount.
18-hour days.
And Kelly wears the coolest shoes ever, so it definitely transitioned
It
into her
improved
present
it
place.
improved my taste in shoes. It improved my taste in makeup. You know, I'll give
All
it
right.
that. And then I decided I kind of wanted to get back in the industry. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and I found a role as a processing assistant about 6 years ago. And I worked my way into a processor role and then pivoted and went into the sales side as a loan officer assistant, and met my branch manager, Jeff, who graciously agreed to bring me on the journey with him of starting our own branch and letting me kind of help run the show.
Jeff is like the jolliest man. We were just
He
talking
is. He's
about
so
this.
happy. He's a pleasure
like,
to be around.
Always. Just
So
a big
smart.
smile, warm embrace, like
Yep.
just the nicest guy.
You
just
guys
feel-
are a really good fit.
I think so.
We are.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah, I
good
would say that.
point.
Yes, your team. So tell us about your team and how you wanted to grow, maybe bring some more female LOs into the picture.
Definitely. So, I mean, you know, like you said, we're not anti-men, obviously, so I'm always about the best fit. But I think that women are far underrepresented in all of our industries. So I would love to recruit some like awesome female loan officers or even women that think they want to get into this business. I'm very big on training somebody from the ground up that if you have the right attitude and you have the right skill set outside of this industry, you don't necessarily have to know this industry backwards and forward to be
Right.
successful. I can train you, I can teach you guidelines and
So what would a role look like starting from the ground? Like, would you be in a processor role? Would you be more of an admin?
so it could go either way. So you would probably be more in an administrative role, assistant role, either as a loan officer assistant or a processing assistant, kind of learning the basics, how to take an application, what documents you need, how to read those documents, and then based on whatever that person's desire is or what they're kind of more skilled towards, directing them either into the operations side, so processing and things along those lines, or into the sales side, so to be a
Okay.
loan officer.
I know, and sales is not for everybody.
It is not.
How did you get into sales, Stacey?
I don't know. It was like a mistake, an accident, an accident.
Happy
it wasn't
accident.
a mistake. It was an accident.
A happy accident.
I'm not a salesperson, but I don't sell. That's not my model. Like
Not
I'm
your
not
model.
I'm not coming at you. I'm building a relationship with you.
Okay.
I'm hoping that you're going to like me.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go on this. I mean, it's a journey.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a
And how did you
uphill
get
all,
to
all
become
the way journey.
a real estate agent, real estate professional?
A real estate professional. Thank you. So I started. Well, my background is in interior design. For those of you who don't know, that's my degree. I worked for about 10 years in interior design. I loved it. I then had a bunch of children, and decided I no longer wanted to go that route.
had a bunch
and
of
when
children.
after child 2, we sold. I did. I have a bunch. I have
A
a
gaggle.
bunch, more than 2, right? I have 3 boys. So we sold our house in Red Bank after child 2, and I loved the process.
Yeah.
Like I loved everything about it.
Yeah.
I became mildly obsessed with it, and I had told my husband, and I actually told the broker that was representing the buyer who sat in my house during an inspection. I said, as soon as I'm done with having children, I'm going to get my real estate license. And she gave it to me. She was the broker of record for resources. And
wow.
she was a really nice lady. I believe she passed away. But she was really, really
God
smart
rest
and
her soul.
enthusiastic. And then I went with the broker that actually, after my year at Coldwell Banker, I went with the broker that sold my house. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
And I just love it. And I feel like I grow every year. And I learn so much just from everyone in our industry. And that's why I love Turnkey.
Yeah.
Because it's bringing in marketing professionals. We have title reps. We have all different lenders. It's like a lender fest. I love when you ladies all get together.
We congregate.
We have wellness coaches. We have makeup artists. I mean, we have interior designers. We have everybody.
Yeah.
And I love that because we all really can learn from everyone's industry,
Yeah.
especially sales. Sales is not easy. And I think the more you learn to be relaxed with the approach, the
Yeah.
easier it comes, and business just sort of comes to you.
Yeah.
Because people come to you.
When you're authentically yourself,
Yes. It goes a long way.
it goes a long way, and the people who are going to want to do business with you or organically just going to do business.
They're going to
with
find you.
They're going to find you. And we've all found each other, and not all of us do business together. However, we share ideas, we share war stories, we share all sorts of things and come to the table, or we connect with somebody that we think you might want to do business with. So the collaborative part of this for all of us was a really, really important piece that I think we've all talked about, was generally missing in an industry that is majority females in the front sales end of it, and that's the real estate sales part of
and
it.
very competitive.
Maybe not the lenders part of it, but I know title is predominantly a lot of women in-house. And I think when it's funny, because the other day I did get a call from somebody coming to our next event, and she said just that. She was like, I'm old school. I don't want to step on toes. Like, do I come? I don't want to come, but I do. And I said, that's not what we're about. Like, we're an open house. I said, Kelly, of all people, who is hosting our next event, which is Manifesting 2023. And we're doing career vision boards so that we can all really put down and solidify what we want, our goals and objectives to be for this upcoming year. And Kelly's an open arm, open door, come in, everybody let's, really work on it, because she's solid in where she is and where she's going. And I think that's
huge.
That's a big part of why we are getting such a huge response to what we're doing, is because we have boss girls in this group who show up every time. And it's not about intimidation. It's not about competition. It's about, wow, you did that? That sounds amazing. Tell me more. Like, oh my gosh, how did you work around that problem in this transaction? Like, how can we all come together to lift and help each other? Stacey and I literally have been blown away by the response to all
We
of
can't
this.
believe this is real life.
We can't.
can't.
So from a perspective of what we would like to know, Kelly is one of our founding members. She is the biggest cheerleader for Turnkey that we
She needs pom-poms.
could have ever hoped for, let alone lucky enough to have. So we wanted to know from your perspective, like what you take away, what Turnkey has really done for you. I know you gave us some information, but on a level of not just professional, but maybe personal too.
So I think I've said this in rooms full of the women that come to the events. The thing that I like about Turnkey and the thing that it does for me is this is, we talk about competition in our industry, but these industries are very small. They're very, everything's a circle. So
Especially in Monmouth County.
Especially in Monmouth County. There's a lot of people in real estate and mortgage and title in Monmouth County, and we all intersect and interact on opposite sides of transactions, on, maybe another lender has a deal that they can't get done, a product, a different state that I might be able to get done, we might be able to get done. So I think the relationship building is hugely important. And I think doing it on a level that is a little more casual, less business driven.
Yes.
Nobody comes in, I don't think, or at least that's the feeling that I get, nobody comes in focused on business. You're focused on networking. You're focused on relationship building.
Mm-hmm. And maybe a little sipping of Prosecco.
And a little sipping of Prosecco. The Prosecco always helps.
That warms up the room.
It does.
No squinty eyes with Prosecco.
No squinty eyes with Prosecco. Lots of smiles, though.
Always. Twinkle in your eye.
But I think the thing for me, and I have said this, is surround yourself with people who will mention your name in a room full of opportunities.
I love when you say that.
And you just said it. We the three of us don't necessarily work directly together.
Right.
But we all know people, and we can refer to each other. We can refer people to each other.
Yes.
And maybe there's somebody that, I think would be a better fit for you, Stace, or, Shannon, for you
absolutely.
than somebody that I would normally work with. So that's part of it. And then for me, the mortgage industry out of all of it is the smallest circle.
Yes.
Where people show up at these events, and I've known them for years, and I've worked with them in the past. And maybe I'll have the opportunity to work with them again.
And now you're getting to know them on a different level.
On a more personal level.
Yeah,
and on a
I love
different
that.
level.
Yeah.
I love
So I think that's what it is for me. It's just this great group of women that, everybody's very like-minded. We're all sort of driving towards the same goal. We always all want to see success. We all want to see each other succeed.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Which I think is a big thing.
That is great.
And that also lends to the realtors side of it, is that we went back and forth about, well, I mean, I did in my head, like, what's really going to draw them to this? Like, for me as a title insurance person, putting a room of my prospective clients in together was wonderful. But for the realtors, I kept thinking, God, and Stacy had the best answer. She's like, do you know how much of a competitive edge knowing the person on the other side of the deal can be?
It makes or breaks the deal, without a doubt.
That you can just call up the person and have a relationship with them that's not just I recognize your name from other deals, but really be like, how do I help my client?
Yeah.
How do I do this? How do I get this deal closed? And I think for me, that was a defining moment to be like, wow, this really does transcend just like me wanting to market myself towards a certain group or you recruiting towards a certain group, but really bringing us all together to give each other a competitive edge in an industry that can be pretty cutthroat.
Well, a lot of people play a game. And it's not, I mean, it's never been a game to me, but I see it all the time. It's like they watch way too much TV, too much $1 million listing, too much selling sunset. It does not have to be this combative environment.
Right.
And in all honesty, it's really not. I've probably had, in the past 6 years, 2 transactions where the other agent and I were just not seeing eye to eye.
Yeah.
And we just didn't speak for the rest of the transaction, which really was unfortunate for both of our clients.
Right.
But I go out of my way on every transaction to try to forge a relationship with the agent on the other side. Most of the time, at the end, we're friends. You know, we're leaving each other Google reviews. We're scheduling a happy hour. I tried to just get Alex Lubin. She was awesome from Heritage House. She had the buyer on my last listing, and I was like trying to get her to go to the mastermind session with Josephine. But I was sick. My kids everybody was sick. I couldn't go. So, but her and I are going to connect. I'm going to try to bring her into the group, and I think she'd be a great fit for the group.
Yeah.
Just like when we get the agents that are traveling from, which still blows my mind, from North Jersey or from down in like Cape May, and they're coming up here. It's so important to have these people all over New Jersey so that we can now refer. Now I have a referral partner. Because really, I could go into Century 21 and say, who do I have that can service upstate New York? I don't know who I'm getting.
Right.
Just because they're with my company doesn't mean they're great.
And it's still a reflection of you.
Exactly. I'd rather give it to somebody I know with Signature Realty or like Keller Williams that I know that I have a relationship with. I know how they work. I know how they service their clients. Instead of me just pulling into a hat, you know, from my company.
From a database.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. My clients are important. Referrals are important. And if Kelly refers me somebody for me to refer, I want them taken care of because my relationship with Kelly is very important.
Yep.
And I think that's what I like about Turnkey.
Yeah.
And I love dragging people across the room. Like, you have to come and meet this person.
So you should know, Stacy is donned the connecting curator or the curated connector. I don't remember how we decided it, but like...
We didn't. You did.
Oh.
I think she's
By
the
we, I mean...
connecting
Well,
curator.
Connecting curator?
I think the connecting
It sounds
curator.
good. Let's
So
go
it's
with
funny how these roles really play out because in general, the title insurance person is behind the scenes. I call myself the wizard behind the curtain. I don't want to be seen, although I do like to be heard. Sometimes too much. But on a one-to-one basis, I get a little nervous. In a crowd of hundreds, I could talk forever. But she is...
I'm the opposite.
The opposite. Right? Where she likes the one-on-one and the real connection, but don't put her in front of a room of hundreds.
God, I'll start sweating. I'm sweating thinking about it.
So you really do fall into your roles, and we really have, but she really is the connected curator. She will take Kelly and say,
For sure.
you need to meet that girl. Or that girl needs to meet Kelly, which is usually the case because Kelly's
everybody needs to meet Kelly.
powerhouse.
Yes, everybody.
She's a powerhouse because she has a way of steering business that is productive and good for everybody in a way that is so diplomatic but still gets the job done, and people just fall in line and follow. And that's a leader. And you surely, truly are a leader, which is why we are so lucky that you were one of our founding members and that you are hosting our next event, Manifesting 2023.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about that.
On February 1st,
Yes.
which leads me to my question to you, Kelly. Yes. What are you putting on your vision board, and what are your 2023 career goals and objectives?
So I think for me, and it's probably something that everybody thinks about, but I think for me it's growth.
Okay.
growth personally, so from like a personal development standpoint, but also from a business standpoint. We're looking to grow our team. We're looking to recruit. As we just talked about, growing from the ground up is something that I firmly believe in because I grew from the ground up and I'm still growing in this business.
It's the best way to do it.
And I think it makes you better at every facet.
Well-rounded.
Right.
Yeah.
No matter what you do. So I think growth for me and success, and not just personal success, but success for my team.
Great.
Success for the people around me.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a true measure of success is seeing the people around you succeed and helping them succeed.
And that's crazy because that's what we're all about, is seeing each other succeed. And it's surprising when people come to our event for the first time that they're like, is this real? Like, you guys really want each other to do well? But it could not be more genuine that every member we have, every repeat attendee that comes, it's just how you're wired. It's how we're wired to want to see other women succeed, lift them up. You know, there are title sales girls. One came and she's like, I'm in title. I'm like, me too. She's like, oh God. I'm like, no, come on. Let's go talk to people. And she's like, oh, okay. And now she's one of our members. And there's so much business to go on. Just going to get your market share and really honing in on solid business relationships that are not just about quantity of your customers, but really about the quality and the relationships that you have with them. Because
Absolutely.
at the end of the day, we want to work with who we like, right?
Yep.
Like, we want to go and play and have fun, and everybody can just see each other at the finish line knowing that we're all succeeding and play to hand in each other's success, which is it's gratifying. It really is.
It
Like,
is.
we leave every event and we just feel like, forget our own personal successes, like, to see other people connecting. And after our first event, like, business was being facilitated immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Which was awesome.
And we just looked at each other like, wow, this is like a real thing. And there are plenty of women's groups, and we're all about all of them, but we are really trying to provide value to our attendees and do workshops that speak to women and empowering women and giving them tools to go forward in their everyday business endeavors that will give them success in the end, right?
I can't wait to see what our next event
I'm excited.
brings out of everybody. It's going to be
excited.
great.
So
Before we do wrap up, I would like to also know from Kelly a little bit more about Absolute Home Mortgage and Turnkey that maybe we didn't touch on. Were there any points that you think that you want us to know about Team Cook or about Turnkey or Kelly Power? Just anything else that you think that we want to know about you or or Team Cook or Turnkey that we may not have touched on?
So, I think Team Cook, I think the thing to know about us is we're hyper local. I lived in Red Bank for 18 years. Jeff is born and raised in Cold Snack. So we are truly your local lender. Our office is right in beautiful downtown Red Bank.
Yeah.
Plenty
of parking.
It's plenty of parking. It is open. People can come visit us, which is different than a lot of other lenders.
Yes,
we
absolutely.
have a beautiful space, which
we
I
do.
can't wait to show off on the 1st with you ladies. And then I think for Turnkey, and maybe you two don't know this, any woman that I talk to that's been to an event, like, it's an appointment. It's something they look forward to.
That is nice. That's actually really nice.
I think that it's
got the feelings.
Aw. And it's true. I think, if you can come out of something, yes, business being facilitated is a huge part of it, but if you can come out of something feeling like you got your money's worth and your time's worth out of it, that's huge. Because so many of these events
Yes,
you go to and
yeah.
it's like, okay, that was great, but
Yeah.
what did I do with that 2
Yeah.
hours?
Right.
Yeah.
What else could I have been doing
All
with that
right,
2
good.
hours?
Yeah.
That makes us very happy.
Yeah, well, that absolutely makes
Yeah.
all of this, propel us even further and
Do bigger things in 2023.
big
Yes.
things. And bridging the gap, like we talked about this at breakfast, that this is not about, the Stacy and Shannon Turnkey. This is really about our members and our attendees. And we want your ideas. We want their input. These are some strong, smart women. So they come to play, and they've got, real ideas that I don't think I would have ever thought of.
Yeah.
So we're very lucky. We're very excited for 2023. We're more excited about
Our
Wednesday
event. Yep.
at Absolute Home Mortgage Team Cook for our Manifest 2023. And we thank you for coming on our first podcast. It's only fitting that Kelly was our
It is. It's the truth.
our first.
Thank you for coming out.
Thank
you
you
for
so
having
much.
me.
See you on
And
Wednesday.
We'll see you Wednesday.
All right, great.
cheers to many more, girls.
Here's to many more.
Rabbit Wednesday.
Rabbit.
Rabbit.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.